I told you I'd show you this shit. I'm like hella low elo in this game right now, but when the game was like tier 1, like tier 0 tier, I managed to get to diamond tier 5, so I almost made it into master, and then I kind of chilled, which I would say means I'm okay at dueling. But anyways, we'll go in here because I want to show you this. I want to show you these the tier 0 tier format. It's a fucking jumble, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. Yeah. So I absolutely fucking loved this format. I didn't actually play it in the TCG, which I was a bit sad about, but because I was, after this format had died was when I came back, right? So I had like a long break, like 8 years, and then I come back and this is what the format was. So it revolved around these cards, tier elements. This is the new ban list. So this was when they were completely like all unbanned, so I could do whatever the fuck I wanted on them. And they revolved around getting into the graveyard, which with this deck is just a second hand, to fusion summon and add them back into your deck. And then obviously you got your big extra deck monsters. Extra deck's kind of like another extra deck that you can summon with these summon effects. It's like Cancer is all hell. But so this was this is tier 0 tier. So we were both using tiers. So here, this is a chain. So a chain doesn't matter what type of Yu-Gi-Oh you're playing, there's always chains. So the last card in the chain is always the card that activates first, because it goes, I chain this, then I chain this, then I chain this, and then I chain this, and then the chain resolves backwards. So that all the negates and everything pop off properly. So this card is Cancer. It's only available in Master Duel. It's at 1, it was at 3 at this time. Where each time you special summon a monster, immediately you draw 1 card. So it's just infinite cards, right? And this is a card that you just stop people from adding cards to the deck. So it negates Maxi because of the condition of the card, and that it's a draw. So they can't do anything about it. Alright, so we get this here, and this is where the dumping all happens. So to special summon Shrem here, you need to dump the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, right? And then, as I said, all tier cards have some sort of weird graveyard effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can add 1 tier elements monster from your deck to your hand, blah blah blah. So it was like basically you dump everything into the deck, and you into the graveyard, and then you get pluses, +1, +2, +3. Card destruction was just a card that basically both players discard as many cards as they possibly can. Because it was just in the graveyard, you drop everything into the graveyard, that means that you get all of your effects. So here, I put card destruction in because it's really good for me, but it was also really fucking funny in a tier matchup because it basically means everyone gets to play, which you'll see here, because these effects aren't only on their turn. These effects are on the enemy's turn, right? So, this chains into this chain, into this chain, into this. So this was a little engine that was a retrain of Ishizu, you know, from the original anime. They retrained all of her cards to make them more like meta prevalent, and it was really just a great engine to splash into tier, because you could shuffle in enemies' card effects back into the deck so they wouldn't go off, because they need to be in the graveyard to go off, right? There's gonna be a whole lot of blabbing here, but this is how confusing a tier matchup was. And then add 1 tier trap from your deck to the hand, blah blah blah. Do that. and then you sack things to get a fusion summon. This card that's coming out now, so Kitkalos. This card was kind of is a free tier elements monster, which is crazy. And then add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So you can do anything with it. You're better off sometimes just adding it to the hand. Sometimes you're better off just chucking it in the graveyard. And this could special summon one tier elements monster from your hand, and then it would like you put it in the graveyard for another fusion summon. So she was kind of like your engine start piece. This card, so Abyss Dweller, basically this card shuts down graveyard effects. So quick effect, your opponent cannot activate any cards as card effects in their graveyard. So I was trying to stop him, but Imperm is basically a hand trap that stops a monster's effect. So the monster's effect doesn't go off, he's still got access to his graveyard. Why I would do that is because I want to have access to my graveyard, and I don't want him to have access to his graveyard, because we're in the mirror, right? Because it's only for this turn. And then he plays Kalbeck, which is another one of those retrained Ishizu mons, and just fucking dumps a bunch of cards into the graveyard on both sides. And this, I think, is one of the biggest chains I've ever resolved in Master Duel. This is just Master Duel, so imagine doing this with paper. It's completely different. I love doing it with paper. That's why I'm like getting right back into it, yeah? So it's like 11:30 and I'm having a coffee, so you can hear that. So all these chains revolve in reverse, right? So I face down that monster so he can't do an Abyss Dweller lock like I did to him, because you need 2 level 4s to make this Black Border card. So Black Border card is an Exi monster. Basically you just overlay 2 monsters. So if I had this and another 4-star, I'd overlay it to make the monster, which is what I'd done. And I don't want him having access to that because I want access to my graveyard. So, and the thing with this deck as well, if you look, you've got to keep a close eye on your deck because you could just run out of cards. And yeah, I get to resolve another fusion summon here. I think I kind of fucked this up, and I wanted to resolve. I wanted Rukalos because Kitkalos. So Rukalos is basically, she's a card that just negates the activation and then destroys a card. So I chuck a tier elements card into the graveyard, so more effects I can use, and you negate the activation of an enemy's card, so they can't start their engine. So yeah, so this is where he's playing now. I've kind of played what I can on my turn. Because he normal summon the monster, I get a free normal summon off Happiness here, which is 3/3, and then I can activate all the effects I want in the graveyard. Again, another one of the retrained cards. Adigo's Cancer. These engines were just great, like so great, because you just get dump cards in your graveyard. Let me have more cards in my graveyard so I can summon more monsters. So this was like the big end-all be-all boss monster. So the reason he was the big end-all be-all boss monster, he looks really fucking cool, is you would send a Tillerman's card from your deck to the graveyard, and then you would target an opponent's card and shuffle it back into the deck. So it's not a destruction effect, it's a target effect, so some cards read differently. That's an entirely different thing. But you would shuffle it back into the deck so I can't use it, right? And then I can, in turn, I can negate that if I want, but I'm pretty sure I use Sullick here to negate, if I'm not misremembering what these cards do, because fuck, it's been forever since I played actual tier. So, no. So Sullick's a trap that does negate, but yeah, I just let the shuffle happen, because some chains get chain blocked. So there's this chain blocking mechanic which was really intricate in this deck, where you would basically chain one monster to another monster so close together that you can't interrupt the effect. And so I got chain blocked there, so I can't negate Collider Heart's effect. And even if I could, he just comes back. Because he dies once a turn to card effect, and he just comes back. So yeah, reshuffling everything into my graveyard, dumping more cards. I hit my first Kelbeck, so I have 3 Kelbecks in my fucking card. And I hit an Indigo, so more into my graveyard for that. And he's trying to get rid of my field spell. The field spell in this deck is really, really good. It just allows a free pop and it makes your unit just really, really strong. So it just ups the attack of these units by a shit ton. So this card was like a little pet deck ad that each player can only special summon once per turn while this card is face up on the field. Which is cancer. It's eggs. It like turbo locks down this engine because you want to be special summoning more than once a turn. But yeah, I see how low my decks are getting, but I have just enough to force shit back into my deck. I get to pop Collider Heart, to pop his Collider Heart. He can pop my my thing. My Collider Heart's effect will go through for longer though, because it's basically just popping it back into the extra deck. He won't get the special summon from it. He destroys his card, this card comes back. And then the Medora engine's just shuffling cards constantly back into the deck so that I don't mill myself out and he can't activate effects. Which was what was really fucking retarded about this. It was just a back and forth of graveyard, blah blah blah. Yeah, no, as you can tell I get super autistic about Yu-Gi-Oh! But oh wait, yeah, no, Shadol fucking stops that shit, doesn't it? Alright, what did I do? Oh yeah, I think I can't target this one. No, why did I target that? I think it wins me the duel anyways. But yeah, I shuffle this all back into the deck. And Master Duel's a really weird format because it's one-ofs. Usually you play 3 games, right? But yeah. Top 3 cards. So I've still got resources in my deck. And he can only do 1 special fusion summon as well, unless he gets rid of this card. So he's kind of stuck in this loop of, oh shit, what do I fucking do here? And I make Collider Heart here, and I think he doesn't have access to Collider Heart, so it's basically like a free, yeah, oh yeah, this is what happens. Alright, so, what this mon does is it targets a monster, puts a predator counter on it, and then negates its effect. But that doesn't fucking matter when he destroys the card. So he's done this to negate its effect, and then this card has destroyed it, and it comes back. Because of it, it's got a graveyard effect. It doesn't stop graveyard effects. So that was why this card was in here, to kind of stop tier from doing tier things, right? And he just can't out the Collider Heart. He knows he can hit over it, but he's low on resources, so he fucking gives up. But yeah, I thought I was gonna lose that duel. That's why I saved that duel forever. My favorite deck of all time. I'm not sure if there is one. I really wanted to show you this deck. Let me just check. If not, I'll just go through and play it. I think this might be the deck. I'm not entirely sure though. But no, this is not the deck. Wait, is this? This is a funny another tier game. Of course it is. I saved a lot of these tier games because they were really fucking fun, and some of them are super stupid. This fucking thing is this mirror match was really like just pretty lit. Not gonna lie. So yeah, okay. I'm too low down. So this is like basically my favorite deck of all time. this and this. Kashtira and Sky Strikers. Kashtira is a part of the same line as Tier Elements. Basically just different. So it's like further down the storyline because all these cards have stories and shit. But I'll show you the funny Sky Striker combo because Sky Striker is like been my favorite deck for years and years and years. It's not because there's anime girls on it. And listen to this theme. The theme for this dual field, the Sky Striker dual field, is made by the guy who composed Elden Ring. So it's a fucking banger, bro. So, this deck basically revolves around control. So I want to control the field. I'm versing Dark Magician. So this is what Dark Magician has become, by the way. Like a combo slop deck to get as many big beaters as possible out who have shit effects because they're afraid if they write a good Dark Magician card that he'll just take over the meta. Like every fucking, like Blue Eyes and that. But with Blue Eyes, they actually release those cards. So yeah, they overlaid the 2 8s there. And he's just here. So here, this guy has kind of helped me, basically, because he's put my deck revolves around getting cards into my graveyard, so I can have extra effects. So this is like the old art of Ray. It's fucking goated. But yeah, so blinking. They're playing Tier Elements, so this is kind of what Tier Elements have become. They're like a weird engine slop you kind of throw in to kind of extend combos, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the big funny combo card game where there's no mana costs and everything is written on card effects, which is I think why it's so enjoyable, but it can be really fucking confusing. So I think I played this duel like the other day. I would have done this and gone like, oh hell yeah, that was lit. And then I'd saved it. But yeah, so they just kind of use what they can use to get this shit. Like, Tier Elements is still very playable in Master Duel, because they have Kit Close, they have access to it. But this is like a weird combo slop. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Gem Knight's like a fusion archetype, and yeah, I just like looking at this shit, it confuses me still. So Lacrima is like this big, there's this cool deck archetype, which is its Fiendsmith, and Lacrima was this card that they introduced to the engine, that basically just fixes a bunch of the problems the engine had. So that's why everyone's always running it in this kind of thing. But yeah. So, and the thing with my deck is everything only works if I've got a monster in the extra monster zone. So, there's this zone where that blue card is. I can put one on the right there, unless I get U-Link locked out of it. Which was a thing that happened in old formats. It doesn't really happen anymore, and it's very hard to U-Link. You need like perfect combo slot. And I have no hand interruptions here, so if I had hand interruptions, he wouldn't be able to go this far with a combo. But basically, I'm like here, and I'm sitting here, and I'm reading all this shit, because I'm pretty sure he's got like 0 negates. He's done all of this to just not stop me, until he gets the SP out. And then it's like, oh, okay, so he can stop one of my cards, or 2 of my cards, I guess. But yeah. So he's like, and then he brings out my boy, Kashtira Riseheart. You saw that animation, he's so fucking cool. I love this card with a passion, but he's banned in the TCG, so I can't go to a locals and run like a dog shit Kashtira engine just to piss everyone off. And I'll show you a Kashtira game. I'll do like another video, because I got shit to do today. I'll do like another video later, I guess, and I'll show you that. Because I'm trying to explain this stuff, and it's probably not doing very well, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is confusing. It's very confusing, very hard to get around. So basically he just banishes all cards, so he makes my deck unknowable. Like, what am I meant to do when all of my cards are in a banish zone instead of being in a graveyard? See? So I think what his deck was actually trying to do was mill me out. And he does this weird thing where he Zelantas. I think this is, no, I know why I saved this one. He self-KOs. So you don't get to see any Sky Striker cards, but you get to see what people can do when they think they have a win con, but they don't have a win con. So Zelantas basically just blows the board up to resummon everything. And then you can activate effects again. And I'm pretty sure he blows his board up. He fucks up because he does blow his board up. They're trying to banish this card because she has a graveyard effect. And basically, yeah, he just mills himself out, that's right. I completely forgot what this dude was. I was trying to find an actual Sky Striker combo duel where you get to see what my favorite deck does, but no. This is what you could see when people try and create a deck with cards that are just not good. Or they're really good, but you just spam all the effects and say yes, 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 yes. Because yeah, look at this. Isn't this gonna be epic? Oh, he mills himself out, and now he's forced to draw a card, and he can't. It's epic. Yeah, I don't even know if I have anything. I think this was a Sky Striker mirror, but I won't show you that. I might. I could always show you a fucking funny Kashtira duel. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go into the Kashtira duel because I don't know. This will probably be like 20 minutes of slop if you are even watching still. So this is one of my favorite archetypes. He's the guy I sent you last night. Kashtira. I love Kashtira with a passion. This deck is just fun. Everything looks so cool. Look at how cool a Riseheart is. Just look at him. He's just fucking cool. So again, I've stopped the Max C here. And this is a really interesting deck because it's kind of... Oh no, he stopped the Max C. So he stopped the Max C, so I can't basically win. So this is a funny... This is... See, like every single time that you've seen a duel, it's been like against a different deck besides the mirror. There are so many decks you can play. You just can find something that looks cool and there's an archetype around that card. Not that it'll be good or bad, but you know, not every card is created equal. That is just a fact of the matter with Yu-Gi-Oh especially. But yeah, so this is a Dragon Link deck. So this was really strong for a really long time. For like 6 years, it was the best deck in the format. Just because it could fucking spam the shit out of special summoning these mons, right? Like, it was just crazy good at it. And it's because it just uses generic dragons, so like everything, like all these cards are dragons, it's just like, oh, I can add this in the deck. Oh, this is new support for the deck, because the deck doesn't revolve around a specific archetype, it just revolves around, you are dragons, yes? So, this guy, I think he's an Omni-Negate, which means he can just negate anything on the field, or he's a banish, and I think they like having cards banished. There's funny cards that he's playing as well, these Bestial cards. This is like a really strong engine, that's still strong today, so they revolve around this guy. He's like a big motherfucker that looks cool as fuck, but you can banish cards from your side of the graveyard or enemy's graveyard to get different effects to special summon the monsters. So you see, if Max C had gone through, he would have had to calm his combo down, because this combo is like, this would have given me like plus 10 cards in my hand, right? There are funny things you can do where with Max C you can force your opponent to mill out. If you can get like 30 summons off, 35 summons off, you can basically force a mill. Or force them to chuck all their cards into the graveyard, but you don't really want them because it's really hard to get 35 special summons on the board. But yeah, so this card is actually an Omni-Negate. negate the activation. Comes with 3 barrel counters, and this one is negate the effects of that monster. So he's just created Omni Negates here. So this is one of the draw cards. Basically, this is a draw card to that you've got to tank shit, and I've just put a bunch of shit in my graveyard that I'm like, I'm not going to use. So I still have my main engine in here, right? And then I get to add cards. Add a card from my deck. I get Lightning Storm here, and he can't negate this, so I just blow the entire board up. No wait, no, he fucking can, that's right. I completely forgot. Yeah, I say Omni Negate, and he can Omni Negate. My brain is still functioning really well. I gotta have another coffee while this fucking, like, lawnmower battery keeps charging. So, he's just fucking playing the game on my turn, right? And I've used this card to banish things face down, just so that he doesn't have access to things in the graveyard as much. Because his deck revolves around the graveyard. My deck is really good against this deck because it stops graveyard effects, if you get what I mean. And then this card gives me a free look at his extra deck, and I can just fucking banish it face down. So when it's banishing face down, it's like actually just turbo useless, if you get what I mean. It just like, it just fucks everything up. So he's used all his negates, he's got a big board, but that doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care. I'm a Kashtira player, I'm a monkey. So the main line is you go here into Shangri-La, which, if you read this card effect, this is why people hate this deck. Oh, I love this deck, but I had to print things off for my card version to like put down to show that things were blocked off. So if each time a card your opponent possesses is banished face down, you can choose one unused main monster or spell in trap zone. It cannot be used while this monster is face up on the field. So basically you kind of lock them out of playing the game. It's just like a turbo AIDS floodgate, and it's not fun. But you combo that by getting a Rise Heart out. He ups his level so that he can actually summon a Rise Heart, and you can use this card when you banish it to get your Fenrir off him and into attack position, so you can swing to banish a card face down, because I want to banish one of the negates face down, right? And yep, I banish that. We lock that because I know that he's just spamming monsters, so I want to clear his board as best as I can. Just to kind of, because he chained it, it wasn't locked, but now it's locked, right? So I get a Rise Heart here, and he's fucking bounced it back. Yep, and he nibs here. So nib is like, oh, I see 5 cards, and I'm just going to put a massive token on your side of the field so that I can maybe swing over you. But that does not fucking matter, because I'm pretty sure he fucked himself up here, and he has no out for his own nib token. So he basically Nibiru'd, because it grabs all the special summoned, it adds them all together for a big fucking monster. It's to stop those big combos, because you saw how I was just going, and I've given him all this card advantage, but he decided to nib and fuck himself up. I think Barone can pop 1 card, which, yep, he pops that. And I get out of here alive, right? So I think I have a pretty crazy comeback. He's put Called by the Grave, which I love to see. He's put that in the graveyard. I top deck a Fenrir, which is crazy, to go into full combo mode, which is fucking great. Yeah, negate it. Negate the effect of my Kashtira Birth. I do not care anymore. I don't know why he did that. He just fucking lost himself this duel. So I banish the Barome, and then I chain Unicorn to banish more from his extra deck. I know he has no Quill Buy, so he can't stop any of these cards' effects that are in my graveyard. I get my card to combo extend, getting out of Rise Heart, going into Shangri-La. And then I do that, so with that, when I banish that, I can grab a card and basically add it to my hand again. I lock him out of a monster zone because I don't want him doing what he's been doing to me all game. And then I can destroy a free card with that. Go into the big daddy, the big goat, my goat, Arise Heart. And now we just have to play this game out because there's nothing else I can really do here. I go into Zeus, so this is another card that's just fucked. It's like, you create a big board, I will blow the entire board up, so you cannot do anything. I don't know why he does this, by the way. I actually don't. It just gives me a chain to do this. I think I do a really funny, awkward chain here. Where I blow up the board with Zeus, but I get a free special summon. And he can't do anything there. So, that was fucking cooked. That duel is cooked, by the way. The fact that I won that was ridiculous. But yeah, that's kind of a breakdown of two of my favorite decks. I don't know if you enjoyed this. I have no fucking clue. If you wanted to listen to my voice, and that's it. Oh! Scrunkly! But yeah. So, I don't know. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Current Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is like before a bunch of the new decks have come out. And there's a crazy deck I'm playing right now, which is basically based off fighting characters. If I go here, I go here. So it's basically like a fighting card deck. So all of these cards are like sort of, they look cool. And then you've got the furries in there as well, of course. Which is a really fun engine. Like, it's just a fun engine. But they're like not all furries, which is kind of confusing because it's like, why there's some furries and not all of them furries, huh? But yeah, that's my Yu-Gi-Oh! Breakdown for you. I told you I would do this. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just uploading it raw. Raw. No condom fucking in. So yeah. I don't know, man. I hope that you kind of understand Yu-Gi-Oh! A bit more too. Alright.